Thinking where to start. I figure I won't talk very long. I'll say what I need to say, and then you guys will have questions, and I'll answer what I can. The news is out now that I've been signed to Team Rogue. I know there's been a lot of hate and doubt and I guess that's really it. But yeah, I guess it goes kind of without saying that I did have other offers. I did have other teams I was looking at. I haven't been really on a team since January with Liquid, so it's been a while. I even had an offer from a team that I used to play for. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say who it was for, what player, but I wasn't without options. I know a lot of people like to think like, oh, Hiko just joined Rogue because it was my only option. I know people like to think Hiko, it was not Complexity either. I'm not gonna, I'll say that right now. We're talking one of the top teams. I'm not gonna say that this was Rogue was my only option, because it wasn't. Even as far as organization goes, we had a pick of which ones we wanted for the most part, and you know, almost every org, somebody has something bad to say about an owner, and I can honestly say out of everyone I've talked to, there's literally not a single person who had any bad thing to say about Rogue as far as the way they treat their players, the way they support their players, the way they conduct themselves business-wise, the way they keep their players happy. So yeah, Rogue was you know, I was happy to get an offer from Rogue. I guess DK kind of posted it, but EG was also a possibility. And unfortunately for myself, you know, EG was always like a thing I wanted to do. But the players that I was looking to play with, the guys I'm on a team with now, the E6 guys, the Enigma 6 org was kind of unhappy with the way that the players were treated, and unhappy the way that EG was negotiating with them. So they basically said, you know, you can't go to EG, basically anybody but EG. So that was kind of unfortunate. I don't know if this team would have been great for the EG brand, just because I know EG is more about results, and this team is kind of a work in progress, progress. You have to build it up. It'll take, you know, probably six months of just hard practice, hard grinding, to see if, you know, we all as a team have what it takes, maybe even more, and that's the way it is. I'll say all the subs and stuff I'll save till after. As far as why, I know there's been a lot of negative stuff about Shinobi specifically, and just this team in general, but it's to a point right now in North America where there aren't any in-game leaders, and I tried to do it myself. I think I failed. I think I can accept that. And moving forward, I don't want to be an in-game leader. I'm not willing to do it anymore. I was put into a lot of situations and positions that I didn't want, and I was bad at because I was in-game leader. So, you know, there's a lot of talk right now in NA about there are a lack of them. So it's at a point where, you know, why not take a risk on a player that either A, has what people think to be low fragging abilities, or B, or maybe and or B are younger, or and or C are, I guess that's really the main two. But yeah, I mean, the people that come to mind are obviously people that haven't really had their chance to be on a top tier team, to have a top tier organization behind them, to have the ability to kind of put 100% focus into Counter-Strike without having to have a job or have to worry about money or doing, school, whatever else it might be. So, people that come to mind are FNS, like people counted him out, and he's kind of developed into a better in-game leader now. Let's all forget about that event that they were just at where that diffuse thing happened and they lost. So that, just delete that from your minds. So FNS, Daps is another one where people think he's really bad, but as far as an in-game leader goes, I think he knows what he's doing, and with some development, he could definitely, I could see him on a decently top tier team. Shinobi's another one, obviously, but that's just the way it is right now. To say that there's no in-game leaders but not be willing to take a risk on a younger guy. I mean, C9 took a risk with Slemmy. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that's not. I commend them for doing it. They took a risk with Stewie. They took it with Automatic, and Stewie and Automatic obviously turned out to be really, really good additions. So, yeah. God B's always been good. God B was like an old school player, so I don't consider him like a younger up and coming in-game leader. He's always been like really smart. Kerrigan, another person who's always been really smart. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I see people saying, why did you join a team of basically nobodies that have no, like, a lot of people are saying there's literally no chance that any of these people on my team will ever be good. And they even say that about me, like there's no chance I'll ever be good again. But I'd have to say you have to ask yourself, like, what there's two decisions you make, right? You either play with more experienced players that have kind of already proven their worth. They've had their chance on top teams. They've been able to focus on CS, and they really haven't really been able to break through to the upper tier team. And there's the other players who have kind of been around the low tier invite, high tier premier players that on paper you might think they're bad, but if you actually dive into how they actually play the game, they're actually have a lot of potential. Like this, like Wrath. I know people like never heard of Wrath. Like this guy is a 15-year-old. He is pretty insane from what I've seen. We start practice tomorrow, but like he could very well be the next Brax, the next Stewie 2K. It's very possible. But nobody's really willing to take a risk, and I think that this route that I'm going down is definitely a harder and much more time investment for me, but I think that's important for me because I personally am not at the level I want to be at, and having a bunch of younger, really hungry, really motivated, really dedicated people around me, I think that could push me to not only improve myself but also like the team in general. And then with that being said, Wrath is 15, so the last I heard, we're not going to be able to use him for the first couple weeks of ESL, because ESL has a rule you have to be 16 in order to actually play in their online league. So we may need to get a ringer for the first few weeks, which is really annoying, but if that's the case, then we'll try to figure it out. We'll see though. Yeah, Wrath turned 16 3 weeks after the ESL season starts, so I don't know, and I don't think ESL would make an exception. So if not, then we'll have to get a ringer. We'll have to see. He's 12 years. Yeah, he is literally 12 years younger than I am. It's insane. Like that's literally when I started to play CS at like 12 or 11. So when I started to play CS, he wasn't even born yet. It's insane. But anyway, yeah, I mean, people always count out these teams of like up and coming people. Like people really hated Gambit for picking up Hobbit and Moo. I guess it was mostly Hobbit. I mean, everyone counted Gambit out. They just won a major. But yeah, it's that's pretty much all I have to say. As far as like the Ibp power players, I know that Days has been pretty vocal about like who he would play with, but I think his expectations are a little higher than they should be. I don't doubt that if all of them could play majors, that he could probably, like, that team could probably pull, you know, any players they want, but because they literally have no chance as of right now of going to a major, I think that they won't have the cream of the crop, so to say, if you know what I mean by that. So yeah, as far as our fifth goes for our team, we're looking European. I'm not gonna say who. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. But we do have a guy in mind. Just figuring things out. As far as I know, we're starting practice tomorrow. So tomorrow night will be our first day. So yeah. I guess the only other thing is like the rogue organization. Again, like we pretty much had a lot of different orgs wanted us. We even had the option to set up our own org, and that's something that I actually was really interested in doing, but it was just going to take too much time. And like I said before, like I've only heard good things about Rogue and like their ownership and their management, so I'm excited to work with them because they seem very very in tune with keeping their players happy, and their business model is really good. So yeah. Is Rast still going to school? I think he might be homeschooled. I'm not sure, but if he's 15, I think he still has one more year left. Days won't play again with Steel XD. I think Rogue has a really good Overwatch team, and I think they have like a Rocket League team that's something. And their H1 team has like the biggest, well, not the biggest, but I guess they're the most controversial team in H1. I actually like their team the most, so. 2 to 3 more? Oh yeah, maybe he does have 2 to 3 more, I don't know. Whatever it is. But yeah, Wrath is just like a really up and coming 50, like if with some development, I think Wrath could be one of the best players in NA. Like he's on path to be there. There's not many super young kids like that. And the thing about him is like he reminds me so much of Brax, like his personality wise. You know, a lot of these young kids have like egos and they talk mess and they're just like bad people to be around, but he seems like he has his head on his shoulders pretty well, and he seems like he's not the typical up and coming 15-year-old gamer that you see these days that, you know, have the ego already. So I'm excited to work with them. We'll see how things work out that way. But yeah, I guess we'll start opening it up to some questions if you guys want. I guess the thing to take away from this is like I know this is gonna take some time, and it's different than the Nihilum days because I'll admit with Nihilum, like that was a bad decision that I made. That was, you know, unfortunately I wasn't really ready to come back, and they were kind of just throwing stupid money at me to come back, and I just kind of caved because I just wanted to play. But this team, like I actually want to play, and I actually, you know, I've been getting hated on for so long, like even like towards the end of Liquid, like ever since Simple left, that I'm ready to like prove all of the people wrong again. So yeah, it's different this time for sure. It means more to me now than it did back then. When it comes down to NA in-game leaders, what about Sean? Is he not an option? I think he is an option, but I think himself, Sean doesn't really want to travel as much as like a Cloud9 Liquid does, since he's married now and he's like has dogs and puppies and all this stuff. So, yeah, his team is like kind of tier 2, I would say, NA, and he picked up those are they French? I think they're French guys. But I don't know. You should make a team with Days and Brex. I don't know. I guess the other question I keep getting is, I wouldn't doubt, sorry, the way NACS is going, I wouldn't doubt you guys are top 6 NACS by the end of the Pro League. I mean, that's the goal. I think like a very realistic goal, if we grind hard and practice hard, is to make the ESL Pro League LAN, because we are in Pro League. We have their spot from Enigma 6 from last season, so we will be in the Pro League for sure as of next season. I guess the other thing that I see a lot of people saying is the timing thing of how everything happened. You know, if I would have known that the Ibp Pirate players would have been unbanned one day after I signed with Rogue, would I have changed anything? I would say probably not. I would have to, like, the decision in my head would have been, do I want to kind of use the Ibp Pirate players if they would have played with me in the first place? Would I have used them to like develop my skills and develop my all of that, but just be content with not, you know, ever playing a major? Or do I try to develop some younger talent and have the chance, and I know a lot of people say we have no chance, but have the chance of actually making a major with this new team, with these young players? And to me, I still think I would have went this route. I think it's not necessarily the safer route, but it's more of a gamble. It's more of a risk, and in the end, it could pay out way more. You know, if we imagine we do, you know, make a major and we make it out of groups, like at the end of my career, even if I don't win a major, like this is probably my lowest point in my career as far as like my like people doubting me and people hating me and people thinking like I'm in my worst form of ever. If I'm able to come back and make a major and make it out of groups with this roster, then maybe I'll consider that a win in my mind. You know, if I can build that again, that'd be a good feeling. So we'll see. Our 5th is going to be a European, and he will be our main opper. So yeah, never settle. I don't know. Why does Whitmer feel spited? I think Shinobi might have done him wrong, or like the E6 org might have lied to him or something. I don't really know. I don't want to get in the middle of that. If you make it to another major, will you finally learn the end of Balk smoke? I tell you what, the only smoke I know on Mirage at B is that smoke. I'll show it. I think I remember it. I'll make sure I remember it before we actually start playing matches. But that code thing, that will never happen again. But yeah, I guess I'll open it up now to questions. If anyone has questions, I'll answer some stuff. I think I answered most of the stuff, but yeah. Do you think you have a strong voice in this new team, like for changes, roster changes, etc.? I think so. Rogue is not necessarily like the most developed org, so as far as like getting staff and management, I think we as the team have a lot of say in like who we want to work with, which I think is really good. As far as roster changes, Rogue doesn't seem like the kind of org like Liquid and C9 was, where they have a lot of say in the actual roster. So if a roster change does have to happen, I think we would have we as the players would have the power to kind of decide what has to happen. I mean, you know, imagine a team where you're just forced to play with somebody you don't want to play with. Like, it just doesn't work long term. I hate to say it, but it just doesn't. So, yeah, we'll see. Is the Euro player someone we have heard of? Maybe. We'll see. Who's the in-game leader for Rogue? Shinobi. He'll be our in-game leader. Hiko treat. I won't quit before I win a major like Zeus. It'll work. We'll see. Why are you so toxic? I don't know. I saw a Reddit post yesterday. I think it was like poor Hiko or something, and there was a lot of people hating, like calling me toxic. And you know, I'll admit, like I do get toxic when I play pugs because I just get mad and annoyed. But I promise you, it's not the same on a team. Like I promise. But I mean, people don't have to agree. I don't really care, honestly. FXO DM days on Twitter yesterday. Maybe it's to play. Thoughts? I'm sure it probably is to play. I don't really know what happened in the French scene. I know a team, like, did they match fix or did they cheat? I don't really remember. I know KQLY cheated. I don't remember what FXO got banned for, but you know, unless those banned players are going to actually just play ESL, just like the IBP guys, I mean, why wouldn't someone like FXO come and move to NA to have a chance to play again? I probably would. Why not? It's been a long time ago since then. There was a match fix? Okay. Can you make a vid of Rogue Prac with TeamSpeak? Probably not. That's not going to happen. Memphis Tango with a 19 years. Never settle like Kuso did. Who did Kuso settle for? Brittany? That's toxic, dude. If anything, Brittany settled for him. Did you consider joining a Misfit Energy CLG level team? I mean, I'm not going to say exactly who I had offers from because I don't want to cause drama in those teams because, you know, I don't want to say. That's not the point of this. But like I said before, I did have an offer from a lot of teams, and one of them was a team I used to play for. So I'm not saying anything more than that. EU Energy? Wow, super fast. That's crazy. Do you think there's some pro cheating on land? Nah, not really. Let's start some drama? No. That just seems like a bad idea. What would the living situation be for your European player? We were thinking it would make sense to, Rogue is based out of Vegas, and Vegas has really cheap living. So we were thinking there's two options. Either it's up to that dude. They have the choice, whoever we get, they have the choice of moving to Vegas if they want to, and they'll have the Rogue team there. They'll have the house. They'll have, like, I think Vegas is a pretty sick place to live, but I don't really know. I've never lived there. I just visited there a couple times. That's pretty cool. The other option would be like a Toronto type area. Toronto would be close to me. Like, my girlfriend is from Toronto, so I go there quite often. And Garrett, our coach, is from Toronto, so he would have Garrett to actually have someone on the actual team to hang out with and chill with. So, you know, it's really up to them. It also comes down to like what whoever our fifth guy's personality is. You know, if they're an individual kind of guy and they don't mind kind of being alone and, you know, having hobbies. Like Pimp was very individual. Pimp could keep himself happy. He would go out and bike and go to the gym and, you know, do all of his own things on his own time and be okay with that. So he would be okay, like the Simple situation. You know, Simple was in the Liquid house pretty much alone, and he hated it. You know, he like didn't leave. Like his only friend that was there was the manager of our team, which was Steve, Joka Steve. So he hated it. So, you know, if somebody is going to hate it, then it makes more sense to do the other thing. So there's a lot of things in motion, and we'll have to see how both the fifth we're looking into, whoever we get, how they want to live, where they want to live, and kind of like what their personality is, and if they'll be okay with living on their own, and how old they are, and all that stuff. So we'll have to see. Any other questions before I get back into some games? I think I'll probably play like 1 or 2 more games and we'll call it a day. I don't know if Stewie's on the game, but Will you play competitively or not? Yes. My team is in the ESL Pro League next season. We have the Enigma 6 spot, so. What are the roles on the team? So I'm gonna probably. So Shinobi's the in-game leader. Wrath and Vice are both like the aggressive riflers. They're like the Nitro Liege duo in my head, at least. I'll probably play a more passive. I don't think I really want to hard lurk anymore. I think that I've became obsolete being a hard lurker, and I don't think hard lurkers even really exist anymore. Even Get Right. Even Happy, like just the playstyle doesn't exist. So I see myself in a more aggressive role, maybe like third into a bomb site, kind of maybe like what Shroud does a little bit, or like behind Wrath and Vice, maybe like flashing for them and going out with them. I don't really want to be like that baiter that's just 1v5ing every round. I don't think that's a very smart playstyle anymore, the bait role. So, and then our fifth would obviously just be an Opper. So we'll see. Why do you think Steel and Daze don't want to play with each other? They've already like said it it's on Reddit. Like Steel said he wants to play with people that he has fun with, and he basically said like those guys he doesn't have fun playing with. And I mean, can you really blame him? Like those guys are the same guys that cut Steel right after they made the finals of a tournament, and then those are the same guys that cut Daze too. But you know, I know Daze is in a point where he probably just wants to be on a good team rather than having fun. So it's just like a difference of, it's a difference of like what they both want. Steel wants to play to have fun. Daze wants to play to be on a good team. So, yeah. Yo, Cressige, thank you for the $100 donation, dude. Thank you very much. You're one of my favorite players. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, dude. Thanks for 100. Can everyone spam the letter K? Just 1K in chat, please. And yeah, thanks for $100, man. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. So, is there any other kind of questions before I move on? If you start practice tomorrow, no. Our fifth will be announced after we A, decide it, and B, they are like official. There's no point to announce someone we're practicing with until they like sign a contract, you know? It just doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, oh hey, we're picking up Simple, but wait, we're just playing with him and he like ends up not joining, then it's like, why would you even announce something like that? It's not Simple, by the way. Simple's staying with Navi to the best of my knowledge, so yeah. When do you start with a team? We start practice tomorrow. I think our first match is the very end of August or the beginning of September. I don't know. How long is your contract for? I won't go into the contract specifics. No pro will go into contract specifics. It's Simple? No, it's not Simple. I'd love it to be Simple. Simple, if you want, slide on my DMs, bro. We got a nice spot for you back here on Team Rogue. But no, it's not Simple. Are you playing with the fifth tomorrow? I think so. We'll see. You heard it first here? Nah, it's not Simple. Trust me, it's not Simple. Wouldn't that be just like a crazy... That would be like a crazy turn in both of our careers. Like, I'm at my lowest, Simple's team's at their lowest. Simple just like, all right, Navi, F you, Navi. I'm going back to NA. I'm playing with Hiko. And then we win a major. And then I retire. And then I take my pants off live on stream because we won. That'd just be like the ultimate just F you to all the plebs on Reddit and HTV. But yeah, it's not going to happen. Not now, at least. Yo, Rogue backer, thanks for the sub, dude. Okay, that was just a troll, by the way, but it would be pretty cool if it happened. But yeah, Any other questions before I get back to playing some gamers? If you win major, will you dab? Yes, deal. Rogue has a really nice logo. Waiting for you guys to get to a major. Deal. When we get to a major, you buy the Rogue stickers. Hiko, don't talk about retirement. Is there a number 6 on the team? The coach of the team is Garrett, GRT. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but it's actually Tim the Tatman. There you go. You heard it here first. Tim is my new... Just kidding. I'd never play with Tim. I miss Tim, though. But timeline when we can see your new team in matches, or is ESL going to be... Oh, God. I missed it. It went too fast. Timeline when we can see your team in matches, or is ESL going to be the first? And any reason going EU for 5th, not a name pair? Why not another up-and-comer from NA? I think the end of August is when the ESL Pro League starts. I don't know the exact date yet. I'll tweet it. So shamelessly follow me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter right here. Any reason going EU for a 5th and an NA player? We have 3 up-and-coming Americans, so we thought, and I thought, why not go for a European up-and-comer? We'll have like a different style from them, like a different opper. There's not many like up-and-coming oppers in NA anymore, unfortunately. That's like as much of like a shortage of in-game leaders there are in NA. I'd arguably say there's the equal amount of shortage of oppers. Adds diversity. Sure. Was Ska's original name Pancake? No. I remember what was Ska's original name when he first started playing CS? He had like a troll name. I remember his picture was just like a bunch of Snicker bars in a box. Is he on right now? I'm gonna ask him if he's here. It's actually pissing me off. I don't remember. No, he's not on right now. Dang. Any last minute questions at all? Anybody? Anyone got anything for me? If not, we're gonna start playing. What's your favorite team pick you ever had? Oh man, this is a rough time in my life. This is a rough time in everyone's life. I'm sure you can see it in all our faces. The backstory on this was actually in Poland. It was like 2014 Katowice. Sean, Swag, Semphis, Jordan, me. This was like right after we qualified to make it out of groups at like 4 in the morning in Poland. And it was so late and we were all so tired and we all didn't want to do it. But we still just took a picture. Brax looks like he's just dead. Like he actually just looks like he died. Here's me with my rosy cheeks just smiling, just, you know, no big deal. It's just me. Sean looks like he, I don't know. Jordan looks kind of normal. His eyes look a little weird. Semphis. I haven't seen Semphis in a while. I wonder how Semphis is doing. Okay. Any last minute questions? Last time. Start a non-major team with X Ava power. No. No. Would you consider going back to C9 if changes to the org happen? No. I guess I shouldn't say that. Maybe. Probably not. The thing is, a lot of the tier 1 orgs these days, like, it's probably not a good idea for me to be a part of them anymore. It's always just ended badly. So I don't think it's worth it anymore. Like, tier 1 orgs have good structure and they have all this, but there's a lot of baggage that comes with that and a lot of like stuff that I don't agree with. So who's in the sub for Wrath? Don't know yet. We're still trying to see if ESL will make an exception and let him play, but I don't think it'll happen. And it's just so unfortunate because Wrath turns 16 like 2 or 3 weeks right after ESL Pro League starts. So it would literally only be like, I think it's 5 matches in total, which is a lot, but maybe it's 2 weeks in. But ESL is like, oh, he can't play until he's 16. That's what we heard the first time. So How old were you when you first started playing CS? Like 11 or 12? Is Rogue a tier 1 rogue? What does this guy want, dude? What?
I heard you needed a European fifth.
What do you mean? We need an... oh, he just... like, why did he end it? That's all I wanted to say? Okay, maybe it's not. Okay. Good, yeah, can I help you?
Why did you... How can you... You can't do this to me, man.
What? How can I help you, sir?
You're looking for a European fifth. I'm ready. Hiko, I'm here.
James, I've seen you play. I've seen you miss. I've seen you do much more than play Counter-Strike. I don't need to see you any more than I already do.
Look, man.
Okay.
Everybody has a bad day. That was one day. Things didn't go as planned.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm Super Saiyan. I'm ready.
Did you win that show match in Poland?
When I knifed Moses, I won. That was the end of the match.
But did your team actually win?
You know, that's it depends on your perspective, I suppose.
What perspective is that? You either won or you lost.
So what you're saying is, if I win a show match, I can join your team.
I'm saying if you won that show match, you can join my team. Did you win that show match?
Man, you need me more than I need you.
What makes you think
Focus on
that?
what's important here. You know, you need leadership. You need a captain. You need a talisman of the team. You need an icon, Hiko. You need an icon.
Are you the international gaming sex icon? Is that you?
I mean, the sex is optional, but
I mean, that's up to you, James. That's not up to me. If that's what you want to be, you can be that. Is that the role you want to play on this team?
isn't live, Jasmine. I don't know why you're talking about sex.
I'm not.
What is the role you need? What is the role you need in your team?
I need a Dosia. I need the X-God. We need an American, well, European move to American X-God. Is that you? Can you fulfill that role? We don't need to see you play. We've all seen you try to aim. We've all seen you try to op. Let's leave that to the professionals. But how about the other side of the business? The side that the public doesn't really get to see that often.
There's only one X-God. Can't even try and compete with that.
So it's a
when
no.
I'm in America, let's play.
Deal. When are you going back to NA? I can't wait.
Soon enough.
Okay, soon.
Chat to you later, potato.
Oh, did we else just die? Oh, we're back. Okay, well then. I think on that note, I'm ready to game again.